Welcome back to the series I'm calling Ancient Wisdom, Modern Life, where we explore the ancient wisdom of Jewish tradition and the Bible and find out how it connects to our everyday life. Today we're looking at Birkot HaShachar, which are our morning blessings. How do those blessings, which were written down by the ages centuries ago, relate to modern ideas about productivity and how to lead a good life? They couldn't have possibly known what our lives are like today, and yet we're going to find that so many of the blessings tell us a lot about how to lead a good life even today. You know this, that routine helps. Every day having a set routine really helps you get on with your day. We know that if we relegate a lot of our daily tasks to routine, we stop thinking about them and then we free up space for creative thinking and difficult problem solving. So, deciding ahead of time what clothing you're going to wear, what time you're going to wake up, the things you do become automated, and then you don't have to think about them again. So how does Judaism play into this? Let me introduce you. This is a Jewish daily prayer book, a Siddur. The word Siddur there, Seder, comes same source as the word Seder, which means organize. In fact, in Hebrew, a daily schedule is called Seder Yom, which is the organization of the day. So a Siddur, a daily prayer book, is actually super organized, and prayers are organized. I know that if you don't read Hebrew, it looks like a mumble jumble of words, but in fact, they're super organized. And when you wake up in the morning, everything we do in the morning is organized in order to set us up for a really great day ahead. So we're going to review 10 different blessings we say in the morning and what they tell us about our day ahead and how to make that day the best day ever. So let us get started with the first morning blessing, which is Modeh Ani. Have you ever heard of a gratitude journal? So many productivity experts tell us that writing a gratitude journal, being one thing at least, if not three, that you're grateful for every single day, sets you up for a really good day ahead. What if I tell you Judaism got there first? The morning blessing, excuse the sirens, of saying Modeh Ani, which means I thank you. I thank you. We've been saying it for centuries. So you're meant to wake up in the morning and the first thing you say is Modeh Ani. So what are we thanking God for? We're thanking him for a rebirth. But how does that make sense? So the sages tell us that sleep is a 1/60th of death. It's this tiny little amount. If you're sleeping well, we even say, I slept like the dead, which we don't want for anyone. But that waking up is actually a rebirth. If I have died and I wake up, then I am reborn again. And I thank God for that rebirth and for setting up a whole new day for me. So the first blessing we say is Modeh Ani. It's the equivalent of a gratitude practice, but done very fast. And it's the first part of our morning routine. Morning blessing number 2. Who gives the heart the understanding to distinguish between day and night. This is so important. So many studies, the one I'm going to quote is from the Harvard Medical School's Division of Sleep Medicine. There's an entire part of Harvard Medical School devoted to sleep. It's that important. And Dr. Lawrence Epstein says the most important part of getting a good night's sleep is recognizing the importance of sleep, to the point that the sages knew that we as humans sometimes drive ourselves so hard that we don't respect the difference between day and night, the importance between awake and asleep, and the value of sleep. So we thank God daily for giving us that understanding. And I think just saying those words make us cognizant of that difference. And medical science has proven it over and over that a good night's sleep is one of the most important things to maintain good health and longevity. So thank you, God, for that ability to distinguish between day and night. Morning blessing 3. Give sight to the blind. When you open your eyes, the sages tell you, you say this blessing. Thank you, God, for giving sight to the blind. And I actually have a member who is vision impaired. So I want to acknowledge that this is so much more than just sight. It's actually vision. And we know from so many productivity experts that actually knowing what the goal is, what that vision of the day, the month, the year, the life looks like, helps us set up our day. The more we know about where we're going, the more we could plan the day to day. So there are things like vision boards that you could create on Pinterest or Canva or just with a pen and paper. But setting down your goals, your vision for the future helps you set up your day. And we thank God every day for giving us that ability to dream, to see, that ability to open our eyes every day and see the future ahead of us. So thank you, God, for giving sight to the blind. Morning blessing 4, Malbish Arumim, clothes the naked. Oh, wow. Okay, so I love clothing. I love talking about clothing, but we actually thank God for clothing the naked. And surely you're getting yourself dressed, but why are we thanking God? Because there's so much more going into that saying than just clothing the naked. It's that ability to get dressed and to decide for yourself what your day is going to look like. So researchers Ryan Vogel and Brian Holtz from the Fox School of Business researched that idea when people say, I'm dressing for myself, and you're like, no, you're not. You're dressing for who's going to see you. They say that is actually not true. You do dress for yourself. They conducted 808 hours of study. So it was like 80 individuals over 10 hours each. It was a really long study to see how people dressed for work actually impacted how they did that day at work. So people who dressed well for work felt better about themselves. Their self-esteem went up, as did their productivity, which is so cool. So that saying that's been said that I dress like this for me, and many of us didn't believe people who said that, it's actually true. You do dress for yourself. The better dressed you are, the better you feel, the better you will do at work, in your life. When you turn up, dress how you want to feel. So dress well, hold yourself together, and we thank God every day for dressing the naked, which means dressing us, for us to feel good. And it's such a cool idea that how do you want your day to go? And when you decide how you want that day to go, dress for that day. How cool is that? I love that one. Morning blessing number 5. Matir Asurim, who sets the captives free. So at the time of filming this, there are captives being held in Gaza by Hamas, and it's been close to 500 days. So this blessing in the last 15 months has taken up far more meaning than it ever did before. So before I get into my personal explanation of this, so thank you, God, for setting the captives free, and please, God, set the rest of our captives free. What does this mean as an individual? And this is about our own constructs in our mind. Who are we? We set that up. We set up our schedule. We set up our diary, and then they become constructs. We make commitments in our own minds, and they become a construct. So one of the perfect examples is I have committed myself to write in my journal every single day. When I miss a day, I feel really guilty about it. That's my own construct that I'm feeling guilty about. So it's about understanding which are those constructs that you've made for yourself and how to set yourself free of them. The first mitzvah that is given in the Torah is just before the Jews, the children of Israel, are set free from Egypt. And the mitzvah is about setting up a system for the new month. Why is that there? right before the moment of freedom. Because who is a free person? Someone who's in charge of their own time. A slave does not get to decide what he does and when he does it. A free person does. So thank you, God, for releasing me from that captivity of being beholden to someone else for my freedom and my time. Thank you for giving that to me, from releasing me from that captivity and that constant reminder that I'm in charge of my time and my freedom. And we want that for all people all the time. So thank you, God, for being the one who releases me from captivity. And please, God, release the rest of our captives from captivity immediately. Morning blessing 6, Zokef Kefufim, who raises the bowed down. I don't have a great back. I don't know about you, but waking up in the morning and stretching is such a bracha. It's such a blessing, that ability to feel your body with your feet on the ground and your arms raised up. That ability to stretch is such a blessing. Every single productivity expert tells you that exercise is one of the most beneficial things we can do. And it is incumbent on us to thank God for that ability to stretch our bodies, to stand up straight. That's from a physical perspective, and from a mental and psychological perspective, the ability to stand up tall. We know that from those power poses people take, gives us additional energy. So when we wake up in the morning and we stand up tall, we thank God for that ability to stand up tall, to be at the top of our game, to not be bowed down under pressure. And thank you, God. Thank you for that ability to stand up tall. Morning blessing number 7, who provides me with all I need. So in Gemara, it actually goes through the blessings, these morning blessings, and it tells us that back in the day, these were seen as something you did at home. When you opened your eyes, you said Pokach Ivrim. When you got dressed, you said Malbish Arumim. When you stood up straight, you said Zokef Kefufim. And when you put on your shoes, you said Shasa Likot Sarchi, who provides me with all I need. So the question is, why shoes? Why is it that shoes were the thing that at that point you said provides me with all I need? So I have 2 thoughts on this. The first is that back in the day, if you could afford shoes, you really did have everything else. We have many stories that harken back to people who would walk barefoot. We still see in certain parts of the world where the very poor are walking barefoot, that it isn't seen as an essential when you're really talking about essentials. The other one is that I thought about this during the times when we were in lockdown, that there were days that people went without putting on shoes, that you walked around the house with your slippers, and that when you put on shoes, you have that ability to walk through the world. And that's when you really have everything that you need. When you feel confident enough to walk in your shoes and walk in this world, God has really provided you with everything you need. And consider that the next time you put on shoes, that this is symbolically you thanking God for being provided with every single thing you need. So this blessing in particular, for me, I find it incredibly meaningful. Morning blessing number 8, who girds Israel with strength. So what does the word gird mean? It's like a belt, a girdle, support, infrastructure, whatever you want to put in that word. And to me, it means resilience. So thank you to God who provides that strength, that resilience to Israel and to all people. In fact, to walk through this world, you need to be strong and you need to be resilient. And when all else fails, when you don't feel strong and you don't feel resilient, it helps to remember that you are never alone, that God is with you every single step of the way. Even when you think you're alone, you're really not. There's that beautiful idea, that poem of the footsteps, that the person asks God, when I walked on the beach and when I looked down, There was no one walking next to me. I was walking all alone at those hardest moments. And what God says is, no, I was carrying you. The footsteps you saw were mine. And when we talk about that idea of being supported, that support, that gird Israel with strength, that God supports us with his strength. We're never alone in this world, and we thank God every single day for giving us that strength and that support to tackle the day ahead. Blessing number 9. So let's get back to the idea of routines. Number 9 is Hanoten Laya'ef Koach, who gives strength to the weary. So number 9 is really like, I want to get back to where we started, which is the idea that every one of these blessings is about setting up your routine for the day. So if we're setting up the routine, why are the sages going back to you're tired and we're thanking God for giving us strength? And I think it's that idea that you need to keep on replenishing your strength even during the day. There's a method called the Pomodoro method, which is that you set aside an amount of time, let's call it 25 minutes. You work uninterrupted for 25 minutes. You set an alarm. You have nothing interrupting you, no emails, no phone calls, nothing. And at 25 minutes, your alarm goes off, and then you get 5 minutes to stretch, to check your emails, to check your phone. I tell people nothing bad is going to happen in those 25 minutes. They can't wait for you to hear about it at the end of that 25-minute period. And we thank God for that ability to set and reset throughout the day, for bringing in all these different ideas and routines that we use today that have been established by productivity experts. So thank you, God, Hanoten Laya'ef Koach, who gives strength to the weary. And we are the weary, and we thank God every day for that additional boost of strength. Morning blessing number 10, who removes sleep from my eyes and slumber from my eyelids. So as I said, let's get back to that idea of routine. If we talked about waking up in the morning, let's talk about going to sleep at night. I started out by telling you about the importance of sleep routines and how important they are for setting up your day. The only way to aid God in what he does for us is to set up good methods and good routines. You can't expect God to, make you not tired if you haven't slept in days. It's up to you. There's the concept in Judaism of hishtadlut, of trying your best and then praying for help as well. So there's only so much you can do, but you must do it. That your responsibility is to do those things. So I think about that sleep routine. Cal Newport, who wrote the book about deep thinking and the book about slow productivity, talks about a shutdown routine, that at the end of your day, you shut down. So the same way as we start the morning with Modeh Ani, we also end the evening with our evening prayers. There is a set of prayers you say in bed before you go to sleep, and those set you up as well for the night ahead. And it's all part of living a Jewish life. There's a beginning and there's an end. There's a morning and there's a night. Judaism accompanies you every single step of the way, every moment of your life. There is a Jewish answer for it, be it productivity, be it routine. Judaism is always there. So from the moment you open your eyes with the blessing of, give sight to the blind, we're also thanking God for taking slumber out of my eyes, but also for putting it into my eyes, for helping me go to sleep, and for waking up. And the reason I think routine is so important, and many, many people have agreed with that, just to name a few, famously Benjamin Franklin set out his routine for the day. Immanuel Kant went for a walk every single day at 3:30, come rain or shine. Ernest Hemingway only worked during the morning and socialized in the afternoon. Maya Angelou famously did not work at home because she wanted to make a separation between her home life and her work life. Elon Musk schedules his day, this is craziness, in 5-minute blocks in order to maximize it. Bill Gates walks on the treadmill for an hour every single day. Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer, had an immaculate, down to the minute routine when he was practicing for the Olympics. LeBron James, who's an NBA star, sleeps between 8 and 10 hours a night, every single night, to the point that his social life actually is much earlier in the day to ensure that he can get 8 to 10 hours of sleep. And Steve Jobs famously wore the same exact outfit every single day of his life as part of his routine and not having to think about what he wears. So the sages knew this. The sages knew that as humans, we need to free up space for really important things and creativity and important decision makers making, that we had to find routines, including our morning, and the morning blessings, those Birkot HaShachar, are part of those routines. And that thankfulness, the thanking God for each and everything that happens to us in the morning, is part of that gratitude, but also part of the routine. So when you stand up, so it's not just that you're thanking God for standing up, you're standing up. It's not just that you are thanking God for the shoes, for everything you need, but rather you're putting on the shoes. So there's an action connected to each one of those practices and each one of those blessings. And my thank you to all of you. Please keep on watching and hopefully sharing more Jewish wisdom for modern life. See you all soon.